Hey everybody, GVB. I'm here at the dojo today to run you through a kata called Nihanchi Shodan. Now it's an old Shorin kata, it's an old Okinawan kata, which I love dearly. And I've been doing this kata for well over 30 years now. And in that time, I've made small transitions that I found work better for me than what I found was in the basic kata. So there's small movements of the arm, which I feel if someone responds to a technique, this is why I would do this. All right, so you'll see me do the kata, and then I can explain the beats to you. All right, we'll get into it. Nihanchi dashi is literally a shoulder width apart, and we push our heels out just slightly, bend our knees, and push our pelvis upwards. So lift your backside up so your backside muscles are flexed. That's the stance. Okay, so from the side, if that's straight ahead, my heels go out a little bit, knees follow the toes. Lift your bottom up. So you see the belt here, belt's down, it lifts up. So that's all flexed like that. That's the stance. Nihanchi dashi, otherwise known as uchi hachi dashi. So the movement goes from here, from this. Okay, we step across. So the foot slides from here directly just in front of that. It plants on the ground and it comes together and forces out here, and then it sinks down. So when it steps, my heels are on the ground here, okay? This foot comes across. So from here, this foot lifts across. So my heel is off the ground like that. Then it plants, then this one comes up with the heel off the ground, comes out, and as it lands, it then sinks down like that. Coming up, release the wrists, thumbs in, pushing down. So the movement from the side happens like this. 1, 2, okay? We look, we flex down, we step, we make sure we're planted. My foot then drops, I step out and I go head tochi, thumb in like this, here. That's the grab. Behind the head, this hand slides up, rotate the fingers to the elbow strike. Hand comes here, pulling back, here. We're looking, there's a kick coming in, we block, see my wrist turn, here, here, turn, then this pulls in as we punch, kakuzuki, square punch, it looks like kind of like a square shape. We step, and remember every one of these is a foot sweep too. Step out like this, that's why we don't step like this, like some of the systems do this. We're actually stepping, when we step, we go 1, my feet come here and then they push out through something. Middle block, come across, hand turns over, double block or release. Circle, hand comes on top, punch. We look, ashibarai, and my knuckles rotate last second to there. I look this way, ashibarai, I come across uchi-uki to there. Komai, here, I look, double punch, here. Not there, here. This is morotozuki, this is a rotating punch, this one here. Now we're mirrored, again, we come under, head uchi, here. Hiji ate, elbow, hiji is elbow, ate means smash, here, komai. Okay, that can be grabbing a wrist or a head. We're looking this way. Make sure we look. Don't do it like this. Too many people don't look. We're blocking a kick. Kakuzuki punch here. We step out. We middle block here. Using your hips, we come forward. We come back, and then we come back to neutral. So it goes here, here. We circle. Hand on top. Punch. Look. Ashibarai. Komai. Looking. Ashibarai, uchi-uki, inside, here. Komai, look, double punch, here. Stepping back, still looking, down. Now we look to the front, here and down. It's my belief that the start of the kata, when you've got the release and the push down like this, I think they can be inserted anywhere during the fight sequence in the kata. And I think that's why, in my opinion, why they head and tail this, and I could be completely wrong, but in my opinion, because no fight starts with someone grabbing both your hands, or very rarely, it's more likely to happen during the combat. So when we do this, it can be used at any point in time, and that release can go down to the neck lock to push down for another technique. So I think that technique itself is insertable anywhere during the kata sequence. One of the big things I find what we don't do
is get the manipulation of this part of the forearm and the rotation, because the rotational force from that, it's not just coming around, it's coming through here, and then at last minute rotates like that, and it increases the striking power of the forearm if you're doing a shutoki, or if you're coming in for a forearm strike to the body or the head, or when you're taking someone and throwing them around you. If you get that rotation, it accelerates it and gives you a lot more power, more bang for your buck essentially. Understanding how the HIKI works is very important. So when we're doing a HIKI, the pulling back to the body, it's controlling something. Now, I do this a lot, even though it's not in a lot of the kata. When you see a movement and someone's hands like this and it pulls in like this, I always add in the grab, because it's something I like to subconsciously teach myself, to always be utilizing my fingers to grab hold of something and control it. So no matter where my hands go, they have a controlling aspect. And I think that's something that on a personal level I like to do, because it always keeps my hands utilized instead of just doing it as a sequence of moves. They actually have some practical application, but the thought process matters most. So when I'm doing this, I'm always visualizing what would I do to this person if I had to do this, and how do I utilize all my things right to the fingertips. How do the fingertips manipulate the back of the neck? How do my thumbs and things work into the face? How does this stuff function, and how do I use the lever points to drop someone in so I can really take control of their shoulder when I drive in? So I'm not just grabbing someone around the neck in a movement, I'm dropping in to get that leverage point so I can then do the next technique. So I try and search for these things in all the techniques I do, and I apply them and add them into my own versions of the kata. And that may be right or wrong in people's eyes, but for me it's just something I do to see how I can make it more practically applicable. In the movement we do like what people call the double block, or it's the release. It's also a grab of a forearm and an arm lock, a joint lock. So it's numerous things. So we have to realize that the application of that can be done as numerous things. It's not just one or the other. So the way we interpret the movement matters, and the way you utilize the ground up power from the feet to the knees to the kyoshi, around the hips to the core section here, and how you utilize your body so the whole thing moves. Too many people use just arms, and it doesn't work. If you're fighting someone who's strong, like back in my heyday when I was a strong guy, big strong guy, you wouldn't have moved me with that. You have to use your core, you have to use the ground all the way up through the core and use your whole body to twist the movement. So the movement comes from the body. And that's the way you do it with someone strong. Now the COVID lockdown, especially in Australia, are sort of easing. Well, for the moment, we'll see what happens. But because they're sort of easing, we will have the opportunity to train with other people again, and you can utilize this stuff, but make sure your partner offers you some resistance and doesn't just fall and roll. I'm going to digress now, but I remember going to various martial arts schools when I was younger, and I was trying to find a school for a friend of mine who wanted to do a specific martial art. And I would see people rolling for each other and falling for each other, and it was so false. That sort of stuff doesn't work. You have to understand how to make this stuff applicable, so you need to offer resistance and understand how to reposition yourself so you aren't at there's 12 o'clock. You've got to be moving your body to the side so you're out of their line of fire. So these are the things that you like to think of and like to apply when you're learning and doing your kata. If you can do that, it'll be functional. And that's the thing, all kata is functional. I think over the years that many people have just forgotten the functionality of how to make this stuff work. And if we can look for that, well, we're on a winner. All right, so Nihanchi Shodan Kata, you've seen my version. Practice if you think it's something that's helpful to you, please go ahead and practice it. I do martial arts because I love martial arts. It's something I've done my whole life. It changed a lot of my life from when I was a kid, and it's been such a great thing for me that I want to see you do the same thing. All right, GVB. Enjoy your week, everybody. I'm out.